What you doing, Andy?
Transplanting some daylilies.
Well, why?
There's a poop system in our backyard. I'm trying to cover it up with something beautiful.
Do we have a surprise for you guys?
Oh yeah, we should probably say something about that.
Yep. So we have some amazing news. What is this news, Andy? You probably could tell by the title already, but
You could tell by the siding,
the siding,
but no.
it's yellow.
We found a new homestead. So here we are.
That is why we have been pretty quiet lately, and today is the perfect day to tell you.
Yeah, moving in and whatnot, which I'm sure is exciting as most of you probably know moving is. You know,
Moving.
we didn't necessarily feel that you would probably want to see a bunch of that,
No.
but maybe you would. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Managing kids and people and
boxes.
cameras, and in the moving process, Andy hurt his back. He was completely taken out of lifting, carrying. He could barely walk. He hurt his back so bad. So
Felt pretty good for me, except for the whole pain part.
Yeah.
That didn't go so sweet, but
So we moved in on June 6th. So we moved in on June 6th, and a week later we went on a family vacation up north. Took a week off. It was much needed, a good change of scenery, etc., etc. And then we came back and really finished unpacking things and just started diving into projects after that. We're not going to show you the inside of the house. That's just a privacy thing. But we'll show you around the property and point out some things that we love, that we had hoped for in our previous home, and I think you'll come to find out why we love it. And we're going to take you along on the journey of rebuilding a homestead.
yeah, long story short is you could probably say we advanced probably 5 to 10 years worth of work.
Yes.
And the same amount of money is in terms of investment in one purchase decision. So
Right.
I think from that perspective it's a win-win, and I'm sure you'll see as you take a look around.
There's a lot of wins on the inside of the house, and maybe we'll explain that in a different video sometime. So to explain to you, we are about an hour away from where we previously were living. We're still in Minnesota. We're still in southeast Minnesota, but like an hour away. So, without further ado, let's go look at the property. Okay, so first of all, this is our front yard. First of all, did some updates around here, tried to like beautify it, add some stuff for the birds, because we have some pretty birds out here. There's a lot of birds out here, a lot of variety, and we don't have a lot of super close neighbors. That's our closest neighbor, and we can't even see them. But anyway, with this beautiful birch tree, we have some crabapple trees, an apple tree.
Yeah, you'll probably notice, like for us, this is northwest. So, yeah, you're looking northwest now. So we'll need to work on setting up a
Windbreak or
windbreak,
something.
especially during the winter. That'll be really handy, but it'll also help protect things like, you know, any animals that we have, vegetable gardens, that kind of stuff from high winds that we do sometimes get out here. We're pretty high.
Which
you
you'll
know,
see what we mean in just a
so
second.
we have two different factors here that are just from an environmental standpoint that are much different than we had in High Forest where we were. More wind, definitely a lot more breeze, and a little drier, higher ground. So both are good things, you know, from a gardening standpoint. We got a lot more soil work to do here than we did there.
Yeah,
But
that's okay.
So we'll probably do some videos on planning for the windbreak and what we're going to do there. but that's just one thing to note on this side of the property.
Yeah. Quick, while we're on the front side of the house, one thing I will explain is we purchased this from somebody who bought the property for the acreage, parceled it off, so we do have 5 acres. He kept the farmland that went with it, but he did like a major renovation on the inside of the house and cleaned up the property, kind of what we had explained we did with our previous property. And so he and his crew kind of did all of that, cleaned up all the junk, etc., redid the grass, but took out all the front landscaping. So you'll notice there's some hydrangeas. There's our apple tree. We have to figure out where to put that, but I put in some hydrangeas. Anyway, moving on. So there's a variety of trees out here. We're just trying to decide
Pine, spruce,
what we're gonna do.
maple, crabapple, birch, a good variety.
And a cherry tree.
Yeah. I don't know if Allie.
I'm so excited about the cherry tree. I haven't really said anything on social media or anything, been pretty quiet on everything to not give too much away. But this cherry tree, just to give you perspective, I'll stand. Andy, why don't you go stand next to it? I'll have Andy stand next to it. He's 5'11", so it's not, I mean, it's a good sized tree.
You don't want to just round that up to 6. I mean, 5'11", come on.
So he's roughly 6 foot tall with shoes on. And
Thank you.
I got
Feels good.
3 or 4 quarts worth of cherries off of this, and I have canned them for cherry pie filling or crisp filling or cobbler filling or whatever you want to use it for. I think we've decided it is a version of Rainier cherry. I think it's called an early robin. Is that what I said it was?
Something like that.
An early robin cherry,
Well,
which is
basically
a
a
derivative
pie
of a Rainier.
cherry.
Yeah, it's a pie cherry. They're tart and sour, but if you put them,
But lots of flavor.
yeah, if you cook them down with a little bit of honey to sweeten them and then put them in a crisp, which we've done, they're really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have some lilacs right here.
There's also an apple tree up in the front corner of the property.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure what that is yet. It needs to be pruned something
Yeah.
crazy
Fierce.
like.
Yeah.
But
Something fierce.
to see what it'll yield for fruit. The fruit looks great on it right now. They're just really
Mm-hmm.
small.
So you can see we don't have any neighbors right next to us here, but we're gonna go show you one of the few things that we had wanted to do at our previous home that we didn't get it around to doing. It was in our 5 to 10 year plan. And wait until you see what goes along with it. Look at that view! Look at that! Just take it in. All
Yeah,
the birds.
it's the kind of view that makes you thankful every morning when you get up, and you can count your blessings pretty easily because you can see them. Yeah, extremely fortunate there. I don't really know how we got so lucky with finding a property, this beautiful on top of just, that wasn't even something really on our list, in terms of wants. A view's always nice to have, but usually you have to pay too much for it. And, for this property, I don't feel like we had to pay a premium to get the view that we have out here. So
Definitely not. Definitely not. We wake up in the morning, we grab our coffee, and we come sit out here and just thank God for all of it. For the beauty, for the blessing of this property. Because we lost out on 6 or 7 properties. So this is where we were led and given, but we love it. So the deck is one thing we were really hoping for, and it's just, we love it.
This is our front porch sitting. Although it's
This is our front porch, back
more
porch.
like back porch sitting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one thing too to point out from here, which would be good just because you can get a good view of it, is
Oh yeah.
there's some cement slabs over there that were left on the property. Will be the home of our new chicken coop that we are planning. You know, we went back and forth about whether we want to do a mobile coop or not, like we had done before. But given the way the land is and how rolling it is and changes in elevation and that kind of stuff, and the way we wanted to set up our gardens, it actually made more sense to go with the setup that we had in High Forest that we started with, which was a stationary coop with a compost system right next to it.
And lastly, we are going to show you probably the biggest thing that we were hoping to accomplish at some point at our previous home and property, but it was a solid 10 years out probably that we would get to it, unfortunately.
Yeah, just the amount of planning and work and expense that goes into doing it yourself.
Yep.
Not to mention, you know, if you're going to do it yourself, you need labor, you need help. So,
You ready?
I know for a lot
shed.
of people, you know, a shop doesn't seem like that big of a thing, you know, but when it comes to being able to build structures and work on equipment and do all of that, when you're trying to do that outside and in the elements, it makes it really, really difficult, and it's very time consuming because you got to drag tools out all over the place, and this just makes it so much easier. And it's already insulated inside, which is a huge bonus because I'll be able to work out here all 4 seasons without much issue.
Right. On the kind of east facing side, it has the sliding doors. And then on the west facing side, it has a garage door. We just need to put a garage door opener in there eventually. It's insulated. Can you hear? It's insulated. And it's set up for in-floor heat in here.
That's not hooked up yet.
No, we just need the mini boiler system.
The pipes are run. As you can see, you know, we're still unpacking stuff out here. It's kind of a blank slate, which is awesome. Which you know, it takes a little more time to get settled in because I'll have to build a workbench and shelving and hooks and that kind of stuff in for storage. But it also makes it nice because I can make it exactly how it works best for us.
Right.
So I've kind of got a plan together already for that, and I'm pretty excited to get it together. But for now, it's already making huge headway for me to be able to get tasks done.
And then when we go out this door over here, show you. It has a nice little front porch of the shop sitting area. Our hope is to actually put cement down here because there's lights and it's really nice. So no, we don't. It's not attached to the house. Totally fine. Totally fine. The other thing that we had hoped to do eventually was actually make a circle drive at our previous home, and this one has one. Oh man, we lost Andy. So man, oh man, we're really enjoying it here. It almost, in a way, feels like vacation. Like we're on a vacation every morning when we wake up.
Yeah. And from a cost perspective, I know a lot of that is important, especially the homesteaders, because, you know, it's hard to afford, you know, all the things that you'd like to have, of course. And I'm not saying we have everything that we'd like to have, of course, but what we were able to come to from where we are at from a cost perspective was, like I said earlier, about the same as it would have cost us to build it ourselves and take 10 years out of our lives to get there. So, you know, from a cost standpoint, for what we sold the other place for to where we are now, we didn't really add any more expense to our life and in our monthly expenses. So from a budget perspective, we're doing pretty good, and we're very fortunate for that. When we were looking at a lot of the different places we were looking at, getting totally debt free and moving into a place that would have actually been a down step and would have actually maybe even set us back, 10 years from where we were at in the other place. And when we weighed everything out, just considering that we're also getting older at the same time, and my back situation, I think, helped remind me of that. I think this was the right decision. So, which is a hard decision to make sometimes when you want to get ahead on other priorities farther. But
we're a little bit further from family, but we're closer to other things. It's balance, and that's sometimes there's sacrifices in the blessings.
But we're also closer to the support network that we have in our church, and
which
especially
we've
with our
before,
kids right now, which same thing with age, right? You only have so many years with your kids.
Oh, yeah.
So their formation and, their ability to thrive and be prepared for the world that's ahead of them with the time that we have with them as parents is super important to us. We place that as our top priority as a married couple, and what our job is in this world with those kids that God has blessed us with. So that's kind of priority number one. And I think this will really help us to do that where we're at with our church and with the homeschooling activities that you do, that we were driving up here every 3 times a week for anyway. So
and
now we're not driving so far.
Now we're 10 minutes away instead of 45. Anyway, that is the surprise. This is our new homestead, and we are so happy here. If you have any questions about anything, let us know in the comments below. And we hope to see you around on the next video. See you later, guys.
Have a good one.